didn't know everything there was to know about the Bible or about theology, about doctrine. I promise I didn't. But I'll tell you what I did know. I knew that there was a devil's hell. I knew that there was a God's heaven. And I knew that I didn't want to go there, and I definitely wanted to go there. And I knew that I was a sinner. I was convicted that night. And I cried out for God to save my soul. And Paul, it was like a breath of fresh air came in the room. I heard one preacher, he used to preach at Frenchtown. He said that even the colors looked brighter after he came to know Jesus. He said that he even treated his dog better after he came to know Jesus. I'm talking about the fading things. I'm talking about the fresh things. But then, church, in verse 18, look what it says. And all things are of God. Church, today I want to preach to you about the fading things, because I'm telling you right now, when you come to Jesus, He changes you. He changes your wants, your desires. The fading things, I'm talking about the fresh things. But then, church, I'm talking today about the foundation of all things. I've had a lot of funerals lately. A lot of funerals. I asked Brian the other day why I've been holding so many. And he told me the two guys in Monroe that were holding a lot of services, you know both of them well. They're well known. They both have retired and they both aren't around as much anymore. So he said, BJ, you're filling the vacuum. I've done probably 9 funerals already this month. And I bet you I did 5 or 6 in the last half of December. And I feel like every couple days I'm doing another funeral. I want to tell you all real quick, church. When this life is over, and it will be over soon, I still can't grasp that my father-in-law is gone. I can't. I have such a hard time with it. I really do. So quickly. Papa McDaniel. So, you know, the other day I was standing in Mom and Dad's kitchen, and we named 14 people that we knew of that passed away in the last 6 months. I'm talking about Sue. I'm talking about June. I'm talking about Rainey, Scott, Lois. I'm family members, friends, one of our classmates from school. Church, I'm telling everyone in this room today, young and old, male and female, for everyone that's here, church, when this life is over, and it will be over soon, church, it all comes down to the foundation. Yeah. Zach, we joke each other, but it doesn't really matter about the Buckeyes. We joke. I seen an amazing documentary on Tom Brady yesterday. I mean, it was fascinating. It was all about his draft night and about how he was so emotional because no one picked him and he thought he was the best quarterback. Gary, I don't know if he's really proven it yet. I would say maybe Mark Bolger is the better all-around QB, but maybe he'll get there one day. You know what I mean? But at the end of the life, it doesn't really matter about if we're Wolverines fans or if we're Tom Brady fans. It does. Hey, today it's the AFC and NFC championship. It doesn't matter who wins it. Really, in the grand scheme of things, who you're pulling for, it doesn't. Church, what matters is the foundation of all things. Mm-hmm. Paul said in 2 Corinthians 5:18, all things are of God. Yeah. He is the foundation of all things. Amen. Church, hear me when I say, we don't have any need. Dad did a great job today teaching about revenge and about how Joseph could have taken it on his brothers. We don't have to worry about revenge because God makes all things right. Amen. We don't have to fret about tomorrow because God holds tomorrow in His hands. Church, we don't even get to boast about anything because we couldn't do anything without God. He is the foundation of all things. Church, I want to say publicly to every person in this room today, my buddies from high school, no matter what I say, I can't get them to think differently than this. They think that God is an accessory in my life. Church, God is so much more than an accessory. He is my all in all. Mm-hmm. One of my buddies, he always says, BJ, I'm so glad that you have a good hobby that you love, talking about pastoring. I'll tell you what, if this was my hobby, I would go insane. Church, it's not a hobby, it's not an accessory. He is my foundation. Today, for everyone that is here, He wants to be your foundation. See, the truth is, every one of us in this room, when we stand before God, we won't stand before God as husbands and wives. We won't stand, you know what, Chris? I don't know, nobody ever told me this, But I grew up believing that because my family went to a strong Baptist church and because they loved the Lord and they sang about the Lord, I remember growing up thinking, I'll be okay. My Mama Smith is one of the most respected people in all of Monroe. Both of my great-grandfathers were deacons. I remember when Dad became a deacon, I remember thinking, man, my whole family knows the Lord. This is no problem. Church, the truth is we cannot get into heaven on anyone else's coattails. We can't. Kenny, if we could, every one of our family could get in on Papa's coattails. If we could, Chris, all of us could get on Mama's. But we can't. We can't. Church, today I'm talking to you about the fresh things. Because God makes all things new. Those things that He brings in, He throws out the old. Those fading things, they're not there to stay. And then I'm talking about the foundation of all things. Church, today, it's been a long time since we preached a straightforward salvation message. Today, with all my heart, I really believe there are people that are on the fence and they're wondering and they're wavering. Church, today I beg you to trade the things of this world for the things of God. I'm begging you to stand on His firm foundation. Would you please stand to your feet? Days, could we please come? Danny, could we get a song, brother? Everybody, if we could, stand to our feet, sure.